So the only real solution is self-inquiry. There's only one problem, there's only one solution. You'll learn it again and again, perhaps, which is that the end of suffering only occurs when you turn within. It does not occur otherwise. And life creates problems for you to teach you to turn within. And it will create more and more problems for you until you turn within, turn inwards. Be still. Surrender. Let go. These three are the same. Turn within, be still, surrender, let go. These are three different aspects of self-inquiry. Who am I? Discover your true nature. Same thing. Let go, be still, discover who you are. Discover what you are, what you really are. It's all the same thing. Three aspects of the same process. So as you're on this call, if you're not asking questions, the invitation is always there to turn within, to abide as the self, which is the real teaching, which is the real purpose of this meeting, to remind you to do that daily. Ramana says, do this daily. The more you do it, the easier it gets. The scriptures and Ramana, they say, even if you're terrible at it, say you need to go 100% of the way to do self-inquiry, but you're so terrible at it, you can only go 5% of the way. You can't even go 10% of the way. You can only go 5% of the way because you're hopeless at self-inquiry. Ramana says, if your capability is 5% and you do that 5%, then God will do the remaining 95% for you. But if you do not do that 5%, don't blame God. Say, where is God's grace? Don't say, God, where is your grace? If you're not even doing your bit. Again, this is a practical teaching. It's not a philosophical teaching. Not to be argued with. This teaching is to encourage you to do the self-inquiry. You see? So let go of the mind. Let go of the body. Let go of the world. Let them all disappear into mist, dissolve away in the distance. Come into your own divine presence, that sense of being, and let all the objects, all the objective aspects, the moving forms, let them be whisked away. Let go of them. Leave them. And as you let go of the objects, the objective forms, as they get whisked away, your true nature is being clarified. It's coming into clarity, just the pure essence of what you are. And letting go of all that is unessential, not essentially you. And what you're left with is your essence or core, what Ramana calls the heart. And this is the self-inquiry. We're discovering what you are by letting go of body, mind, world, objects, feelings, thoughts, letting go. All that's left is pure being. This is the natural states. Your true nature is being clarified. There's nothing to see, nothing to know, nothing to do, nothing to be. Just being. Just that pure essence. Shankara again says it very beautifully. He says when, in fact it's in the Upanishads that say it very beautifully, and Shankara echoes this. He says when you let go of it all, the consciousness, it cannot even be called consciousness anymore, because there are no objects. It's just that pure essence that you are. It's just the pure knower, but without the known, without the knowing. With the knower, knowing, known, the triad of mind. If you get rid of the known and the knowing, it's just the knower. It's just a pure subject, devoid of objects. And just to stay there, that's it. Nothing else. Just stay there. What a simple teaching. And then the mind wants to know this, the mind wants to know that. That's not you. That's not you. That's something external. Let it go, let it go. The mind will convince you that you are, it's what you are, and it wants to know this and it wants to know that. That's illusion. Let go of that. Come back to the self. Come back to what you are. Which means let go of body, mind, world, objects, feelings, thoughts, imaginations, teachings, questions. Let go of it all. Discover your essence. What are you without all these things? What's left? That's the true face of God. That's what you were before you were born. That's what you are in deep sleep. It's what you always are. It's the unchanging aspect of you. The imperishable, eternal aspect of you. It's the only reality there is. You can discover it. It's you. You don't discover it as something else. The mind doesn't discover it. It's just pure being. That's it. The mind might say, then what? Then what do I do? Then what? Think nothing. Just let it go. But what about my life? What about this? What about that? Nothing, just let go. It will all come clear. Trust the teaching. When the self is discovered by the self, as it were, it's just the self being the self. It's not a discovery. But when that so-called discovery happens, then all the questions go. All the suffering goes. All the doubts go. Until then, have faith. Follow the teaching. Do the sadhana. Do the practice. Daily, daily, daily. Give yourself to this. Commit yourself to this. Devote yourself to this. Discover the happiness within. Discover the cessation of suffering for yourself, in your own experience, directly. It's the most beautiful thing. So go beyond any idea of individuality. Discover that which is beyond the individual. It might seem like, oh, Tom has realized the self, or so-and-so has realized the self. No. Go beyond ideas of individuality. You might think, and then you insert your name. I, Tom, am going to realize the self. No. That's not what you are. You are not this shell, this body-mind shell, this apparent individual shell. Go beyond any sense of individuality. There is only one self, and you are that. As you do self-inquiry, you'll come to realize all these other people are not other people. As you realize you are not you, you'll realize other people are not other people. Go beyond this false concept of individuality and duality. There are not all these other people, and there are not all these other things, and there is no world out there. There's just the self. This must be realized. Otherwise, it's just theory. It's just an idea. Again, until you have realized, have faith. But obviously, with realization, it goes beyond faith. Faith is no longer needed when it's realized. But until then, have faith. Abide as the self. Destroy any notion of individuality, that Tom or somebody else is doing this. No, there's only one self. And you are that. Discover it for yourself. The mind may ask questions. Oh, how can this be? How can that be? Does it make sense? It doesn't make sense. I don't know. Discover for yourself. It's the only answer. It's the only solution. The sooner you get set and start to do self-inquiry, the better. The sooner you're going to figure this out. Again, it's not you figuring anything out, really. It's just the words we use. And the sooner, the suffering and ignorance and illusion will fall away. The sooner you start the self-inquiry. It's the only way. It's not dogma to say it's the only way. Just as the only way to learn to play tennis, ultimately, is to get on the tennis court and play. There are other things you can do that may help. You can watch some videos, you can read some books, you can get the best equipment. But ultimately, you've got to get onto the tennis court and play, to learn to play tennis. And the same thing, the only way you can realize the self is through being the self, abiding as the self. Other things you can do to help, you can read the books, you can come to Satsang, you can do this, you can do all these other things, which are helpful aids. But the only way to discover the self is to abide as the self, which is self-inquiry. It's the only way. It's not a dogma, it's just the reality. It's the habitual tendencies that will continually make you feel like you're an individual body, mind, entity. The thinking, the thoughts that make you feel that you are a body, mind, entity. Ramana says there's this divine weapon we can use to smash and quash these thoughts, destroy them. That whenever these thoughts arise that make us feel like we're an individual, body, mind, entity, that we're limited, when these vasanas arise, there's this divinely powerful weapon we can use. And it's the question, who am I? To whom do these thoughts arise? Who am I? To whom does this feeling appear? To me. Who am I? The subject. What am I? Let me let go of all superficialities of name and form. What remains? What am I in essence? Never been known by the mind. It's your core. It's your heart. It's the heart of you, the core of you, the essence of you. Discover this. Discover it by letting go of all the coverings, the veils, the name and form. Nama Rupa. Let go of Nama Rupa. Take up Ramana's divine weapon that he has gifted to us. He's given us this beautiful, powerful weapon which we can wield. Don't forget to wield it every now and again when you need to. Otherwise, you end up stuck in this idea that you are an individual body mind meditating. You're an individual body mind doing self-inquiry. No, you're not. You're not an individual body mind meditating. You're not an individual body mind doing self-inquiry. You're the self. The individual body mind identity is illusion. Use this divine weapon. Well, who am I? The question, who am I? Wield it to reveal, allow you to reveal this truth to you.